started again. The world's largest retailer today expanding its discount prescription drug program. Now you can get more than 360 different products for just $4. With a deal like that, then we're asking who needs national health care. Let's ask Charles Payne, Danny Fontana, and Meredith Whitney. Meredith, who needs it?
I think everyone needs it, right? They're close to 35% of the population that doesn't have any type of insurance. So if they go to the hospital, they're going to be turned away. So this is a step in the right direction. But when we have a crisis, we turn to the government. So when we have a crisis in the financial markets, we turn to a government entity, the Fed, the SEC, to regulate government financial entities. We're going to have to turn to the government again to take this until it improves. Wal Mart can't solve all of our problems.
What do you think, Charles?
Well, I get confused when you say regulated. I mean, the bottom line is I think the government should unshackle the system so that people can take care of themselves. I do believe in the savings accounts. Also, I think that people should be able to pool their resources, small businesses, the self-employed. We got 17 million people self-employed. They have to pay for insurance with after-tax money. The government can do things to really make the system work to allow free enterprise to work. But, Walmart in of itself can't solve the issue.
All right, Danny, nevertheless, when this started, Walmart was covering, I think, about half a dozen drugs, and now we're up to north of 300. Is that a start? Is that an impetus for others to follow suit, if for no other reason than their selfish business interests?
Yeah, hi, Neil. It clearly is. I mean, they say $630 million so far in just over a year. I just don't think government has any place in universal health care. For me, every time I see a government entitlement program, I see America's ambition having the lifeblood sucked out of it. I just think that Americans, given the right to take care of themselves, are perfectly capable of doing it. And every time the government needs to get involved and say, you know what, you can't do it yourselves, let us help you, it's a disaster. So I don't think Walmart is proving it. Let the free markets work. On the way over here, I heard somebody say, I'm all for letting free markets work until they don't work. Then we have to step in. And free markets do work. You just have to let it happen.
Well, Meredith, you're saying they're not, right?
Well, I'm saying that I don't want, my neighbor dying in the, waiting room because he's refused to get into the hospital because he doesn't have insurance. So on paper, I think Danny's theoretically right.
Is it not? I mean, no emergency room turns down someone.
Well, there are accounts all the time. Illegal immigrants are turned down, right and left. I mean, I think
actually that's not true.
I disagree with that.
Okay, let her explain.
Well, my point.
For that to have happened to the degree that it is said to happen, you would have everyone all of a sudden getting coverage.
Well, I think that everyone deserves the basic human right of getting coverage, and what we can start to do. I mean, Danny,
do you have faith in the government to do that?
I have faith in the fact that it's a crisis that needs to be solved. The government is a last resort.
Is it a crisis, Charles?
It is a crisis, but, people aren't dying in emergency rooms. I mean, almost every publicly traded hospital carries 13, 15%, on their balance sheets that they're never going to recover. The fact is, though, people can help themselves with the help of the government. In other words, let's give a credit for families. The president proposed $15,000 for a couple, $7,500. That's the type of thing we need to do. People need to take things into their own hands with the help of the government.
Danny, real quickly, it's going to happen, though, right? We're going to get some form of health care because a Democrat, if elected president,
no, I don't think that's necessarily going to happen, Neil. We talk about governments need to help in a crisis. Show me an example of when governments were great in a crisis. I haven't seen it in quite a long time.
All right, guys, I want to thank you all. In the meanwhile, a touch, an attempted kiss, foul language.